We're at the end, or coming to the end, of 3 or 4 years now of electricity market reform in the UK, which is a process that has brought us to a situation now where the UK government's going to award effectively contracts to new forms of power generation that satisfy its policy objectives of being clean and green and secure. There are 4 bits to electricity market reform. The one that investors in renewable energy are going to be most concerned with is something called the contract for difference, which is a contract that will be awarded by effectively a government body, which gives them a fixed price if you're a generator from renewable electricity to pay you a certain amount for every megawatt hour that you produce over what will be probably a 15-year period or so. One of the ironies of the debate over the last year or so, at least, is that renewable energy actually has achieved an awful lot in recent years to bring its costs down. So in onshore wind and in solar PV, we've seen very substantial drops in the actual production costs of electricity. So if you look around the world and globally, then in an awful lot of markets now, with some relatively small adjustments for the environmental benefits that those technologies bring, onshore wind and solar PV are amongst the lowest cost new entrants. So it is true that we've invested substantially in a number of those technologies, and in a number of countries, Germany being perhaps the most obvious one, a lot of money has historically been invested to bring the cost of technology down, where it's almost a little bit like the cost debate is somewhat backwards now, because we see a lot of cost-effective power generation coming out of the renewable technologies and the other clean technologies. So the UK has got a diverse energy mix and is decarbonising that energy mix at a reasonable rate. We've got a number of clean technologies which the government is bringing through using this mechanism called electricity market reform. They've effectively awarded the first contract for a new nuclear power station, and they've awarded a number of contracts for large offshore wind farms, and the onshore wind farm business and the solar PV and business even in the UK continues to go from strength to strength. So I think the UK sits actually as a very good investment environment appreciated by investors, and we'll see a lot of growth in the power sector in the coming years. Clean energy remains a very attractive place for investors to invest. Last year was an interesting year in many respects, an awful lot of political controversy around the energy debate, but an awful lot of investment actually flowing into the sector, and lots of new types of investors investing in the sector. So investors tend to like, actually, believe it or not, the political certainty that goes with these kind of investments. They've been well backed by policy which has been very solid at both an EU and national level, certainly in the UK, for a long time. And as we've seen these technologies, particularly onshore wind and solar PV, become much more cost-effective forms of power generation in the power mix, then the amount of political risk which investors are taking is substantially reduced, making it more attractive as a thing for them to get into.